It is shocking to know that American citizens are denied healthcare treatments because of who they are. They're attacking all of the care for transgender youths. Specifically, they're going after puberty blockers. Puberty blockers are perfectly fine to prescribe to cisgender children. When it becomes an issue is when that child is a transgender child. Same medication. This is alarming. It's not necessarily shocking in today's political fever climate that we live in 2024, but it is shocking that I should even bring up politics when I'm talking about children's health care. Hello, hello, and thank you for joining me. This is a trans moment with Brandi Beckett. Consider the following. When I discovered my gender identity and began my transition, so to speak, my pulling my gender identity from within me and expressing it, so changing that expression to more closely align with my gender identity, or what we call a transition. When I began my transition in 2015, there wasn't any laws against transgender children getting the health care they needed. I mean, it wasn't easy. It's still not easy, but there wasn't like straight up laws that are telling everyone that transgender children do not deserve treatment for their gender dysphoria. I knew it was difficult to get health care for transgender people in 2015 when I started this journey. And it was kind of difficult for me too. I began my journey in Florida. I was in Florida in 2015, in Tampa. And I had to jump through a few hoops to get my medication, but I was able to do that. And since then, yeah. I mean, I'm an adult. I'm pretty sure if I lived in Florida, I might be able to get health care. I might. But as a child, you couldn't. Transgender people under 18 face laws that bar them from accessing gender-affirming health care in 25 states. Just a few years ago, not a single state had such a law. Yeah, that's right. 25 states of the United States, of the 50 of us United States, 25 of the states have some sort of ban for health care for trans kids. Details of the state bans vary, but the laws generally bar transgender minors from accessing puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries. And they note that, which is very rare for minors. Surgeries for minors to treat gender dysphoria is rare. It is very rare, and they have to jump through so many hoops just to get those surgeries. So, just a side note on that. But these bans are not necessarily addressing the surgeries. They're attacking all of the care for transgender youths. Specifically, they're going after puberty blockers. They're trying to make puberty blockers illegal for transgender children to access. And in 25 states, they are. Essentially, they are in 25 states. And puberty blockers are not blocked for just everyone. It's not like they found, hey, this drug is bad and this drug is harmful and this drug should not be on the market. Let's not issue it to anyone. That would be understandable. But that's not what's happening. Puberty blockers are perfectly fine to prescribe to cisgender children. When it becomes an issue is when that child is a transgender child. Same medication. children all under 18, because puberty blockers are not given to people over 18. For the most part, can't really think of a reason to give puberty blockers to people over 18 if we're using them to block puberty. Puberty, the onset rush of hormones that we humans experience in our adolescence, occurs before we're 18. Most often occurs before we're 16. Me, personally, I was a late bloomer. I didn't experience the first onsets of puberty until I was 16 years old. So I would have been late in puberty blockers if I had discovered my gender identity when I was a child, if I had known to question it, and I would have had the fortitude, and if I would have had the support to go on and treat gender dysphoria when it was first recognized, if it was recognized when I was a young child, puberty blockers would have been given to me as a young teenager. I didn't have that experience. I did not recognize my gender identity until much, much later in life. I didn't have the fortune to recognize my gender identity and to understand that it wasn't the identity that I was assigned at birth. And lots of children are able to do that. They're able to look inside themselves and discover that their gender identity is not necessarily that identity that was assigned to them, but is their identity, and they want to express it. And within our society's boxed in binary gender labeling and identity system, a good portion of us, when we express our identity, it does not fall into that box we were assigned. That gender assigned box is not us. And that happens to about 1% of human population. If you put all of human population into box A or box B, not everyone's going to fit into box A and box B. So we have that, and I applaud when children can recognize their gender identity and say, it's not the assignment that was given to me. And they have the courage to express that. I applaud them. I'm like, yay, good on you. Let's give you the support that you deserve, both socially and medically. So yeah, puberty blockers, they're for children before or right as they're experiencing the onset of puberty or a rush of hormones that their body is going to change. Well, that has been a trans moment, and I am Brandi Beckett. Love yourself, but more importantly, like yourself, and treat people the way they want to be treated. Bye-bye for now.